Laksa is one of those curry pastes that I love to have on standby in my pantry for a really quick midweek soup. Usually I would serve it with some tofu puffs and also some rice noodles, but today I'm changing it up. I'm going to take it up a notch by serving it with some yummy dumplings. This is an absolute favourite of mine. So these are my chicken and cabbage dumplings. They are delicious. So in this bowl I have some lean chicken mince. With this I'm going to add some cabbage. Now I've just finally chopped my cabbage. I've added a little bit of salt to it and bruised it with my fingers and just allowed it to sit for 10 minutes. By doing that, we're extracting a lot of the liquid and the water from the cabbage, and then I've just pressed out all of that liquid so we've got nice dry cabbage. In it goes. To this I'll add some garlic, so 1 clove of garlic that's been freshly minced, and also ginger. I love chicken, ginger, great combination. So a good amount of freshly minced ginger. Great. To this we'll add some spring onions for a mild onion flavour. I'm just wanting to use the light green and the white part of the spring onions. So we'll just finely chop them so everything is minced together. And you can reserve the darker part of the spring onions. We can finely chop them and add them to the top as a garnish later on. Okay, in they go. A pinch of salt. Not too much salt because I'll also be adding some soy sauce. I like to use a light soy sauce for this. We want about a teaspoon. And some sesame oil. Now I'm using a pure black sesame oil. You only need a small amount of this because it has quite an intense flavour. I love it because it really imparts a nutty flavour. So just a few drops goes a long way. That's all you need. And to balance everything out, a pinch of sugar and a pinch of white pepper. Now with a fork we're just going to mash that up, and this right here is an absolute flavour bomb. I love making dumplings from scratch at home because you can control what ingredients you add to it and also change it up. I also do this with some mushrooms. Shiitake mushrooms are great, or just your regular button mushrooms work a treat in this. So once that's really sticky, and you can see just with a fork I'm working that mixture, and once it looks like this, we're ready to make our dumplings. So I've got some wonton wrappers here, square ones. You could use some round ones. I do like the square ones because they're quite thin, and I like how they go translucent as they cook in the water later on. So I always start with 6. Place them under a damp cloth so they don't dry out, and then continue the process. Okay, so we'll add about a teaspoon or so of our mixture just to the centre. Have some water on standby, just with a brush, and not too much water. We just want to brush some water around the sides. Bring in tip to tip and squish that together, just removing any of those excess air bubbles, making a triangle. And you can be quite decorative with it, or you can make just a simple wonton wrap, which is just twisting like a tortellini, like so. I must admit, I'm not great at forming really pretty dumplings, but I can tell you that these are going to taste so nice. All right, that's the first one, and I'm going to just cover that with a tea towel and make a few more. Our wontons are made. I'm just going to keep them covered with that damp cloth while we make our laksa, and it's really easy, just 3 simple ingredients. Our laksa paste that has turmeric, lemongrass throughout it. It's also got some shrimp powder that gives it that unique laksa flavour, and I'm going to use the whole jar of my laksa. I love this one too because it's preservative free and there's no MSG, so in with the whole jar, and half a can of coconut milk. And to that, we'll add some water. And all we need to do is bring that up to the boil, and we can cook our dumplings. So I've got some water just simmering. The dumplings won't take long at all, maybe 3 to 4 minutes. I'm also going to cook some bok choy. Okay, our laksa broth is ready to go. These little dumplings have come up to the surface. You can see how translucent they are. They're just right. I'm just going to place them into a bowl first, along with our bok choy. Fantastic. And now to arrange these. So the bok choy on the bottom with lots of dumplings. You can add a couple, or if you're super hungry, add some more. I'm going to go all out. 5 for me. And then we can ladle our gorgeous laksa broth just right. So fill that up with some laksa. And to that, a few garnishes. So some bean sprouts, along with some crispy fried shallots. I love the crunch of that just on the top of those bean sprouts. And a little garnish of coriander over the top. And that's my take on a laksa with wontons. So delicious. I mean, wontons by themselves are great, but then you put it with one of the world's best soups, a laksa, just a match made in heaven.